I'm Riley,
And I'm Ronnie,
and this is the Plan to Eat podcast.
where we have conversations about meal planning, food, and wellness to help you answer the question, what's for dinner? Hello, everyone. It's Ronnie and Riley. We're back with the Plan to Eat podcast.
Today, we are talking about meal planning personality types. And I think this isn't Enneagram. It's not the Myers-Briggs. It's not like that. It's just, there's some different ways people meal plan, and we're going to talk through those. And I think everyone at different phases in their life are going to meal plan with a different personality type. Not that they change, but the circumstances around planning change, and it does affect how you meal plan day to day.
Yeah, totally. And just so everybody knows, this is not scientific. We have done no psychological research into these meal planning types. It's all just based off of our observations and, when we are interacting with Plan to Eat customers, how we see them meal plan or the types of questions that people ask and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Arguably, this is actually one of my favorite things about the dinner dilemmas, about sometimes when people email us, they'll tell us how they utilize the program or how they meal plan and how, like, they'll say, here's how I meal plan. Here's a feature I need because this is the way I do it. And it is shocking sometimes how people's brain takes something and uses it in a different way than I do. It's just amazing to me that people's brains, I don't know, like, I would have never done it that way. Or that is really, like, what an intelligent way to utilize that feature. Whatever it is, it's just really interesting. It's one of the most interesting parts, I think, of doing this.
Yeah. I was actually just talking to one of our coworkers yesterday about Plan to Eat. And before he started working for Plan to Eat and using Plan to Eat, he used a big nutrition app, right? Like he's like a macro counter. Yeah.
Got it.
And so he was like, yeah, the way that I meal plan is I like build meals. Like he doesn't necessarily plan a recipe. He plans ingredients because a lot of his meals are just like a protein, a carb, a vegetable, a fat kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so like we don't have, I guess in our list here, we don't necessarily have that type of a meal planner as a personality type. But I just thought it was really interesting because when he first said like, I build meals, I was like, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. And so he like described it to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, that is totally a way that people meal plan.
I mean, I would say that's the way that I meal planned when I didn't know I was meal planning.
Yeah.
Because I was very involved in the fitness industry and I was doing macro counting and that kind of thing. And when you're macro counting, it's way easier to do those buildable meals than it is to make a recipe and like assume you have the right portion size.
Yeah. And also, that certainly is easier to do depending on what your family size is, right?
Right.
Because you don't have to have as many very specific amounts and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think the thing that people run into with that is like they need something they don't have. So they just wing it instead. Yeah. And I mean, I kind of just want the things that I want to have. So so I'll still build a meal plan and just include like, okay, I want this kind of marinade on that chicken or this kind of sauce on the side, which means I have the ingredients to make that.
Right. Well, or a lot of recipes in my Plan to Eat account are just for, well, like what we're eating tonight is like I'm going to say this wrong, so correct me if I do. The gochujang?
Yeah.
Is that I'm saying it right, more or less?
You're saying it right, more or less. I can't correct you. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, it's like the gochujang chicken. And that's the whole recipe, right? Is like how you season the chicken and then cook it.
Yes.
So you have to build the meal around that, right? Like you have to say, okay, we want to eat this with rice or we want to eat this with roasted vegetables. A lot of the recipes that I have in my Plan to Eat account are that they're not like a full meal.
Yeah. Yeah. Often that's what I'll do also, because I'll plan the one part of the recipe that needs the recipe or one part of the meal that needs the recipe. And then, we're going to have rice or Brussels sprouts. And then I'll just like write that in as a note. And I don't need a recipe to cook those two things.
Right.
If I did not plan recipes, even just for those kind of pieces, I would end up eating the same flavor profile for far too long.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, it was really good last night. We'll just do that again. Well, that's what we've got. I guess we'll do that again. And then you're like, I never want to eat that again.
I'd probably mostly eat Mexican food.
Oh, yeah. Always. I mean, like just leaning in that direction.
Like a taco bowl. Let's just be like taco bowl with like one different topping.
Yeah. And I always have those kinds of ingredients around, so it's easy.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get into some of these meal planner types that we thought about. And just so that everybody knows, this is something that I think like you can be, like Riley said, you can like go through you can go through these different personality types throughout different phases of your life. And I also think you can be combinations of these,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
It's not
Hmm.
an end all be all that you're always one type of planner.
The first one I would say is the one that I lean into the most.
Hmm.
It's the 24/7, 365 planner. And that sounds really extensive. I mean, this is the one I do the most often. Like, I'm gonna meal plan almost not every meal of the week. I'm gonna plan dinners
Well, see, then
most of.
I don't think I would say you're a
You're
365
not. You
planner.
wouldn't. What would you
No.
say I am?
I think
How
you're
should
the
we do
next.
this?
I think you're the next one.
Okay. Let's just run through them all so people know where we're headed.
Okay.
So people know. 24/7, 365 planner, minimalist planner, spontaneous planner, future planner, and every few days planner. So you think I'm the minimalist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's run through what they are. Okay. 365 plans every meal of the week. Okay, you're right. I don't do that. I wing it. Okay. Plan to Eat is a lifesaver for this group of people because I could not imagine planning breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week without some hand holding.
Oh, yeah.
That would take up hours.
Creating the shopping list for all of that would be insane.
Yes. Merging trying to figure out how to okay, do I have enough onion? Where do I count for extras? Like, what do
Yeah.
I do? That would be really hard.
Yeah.
To do it without Plan to Eat.
Yeah. But I think this is necessary
Yeah.
for some people because they have a really tight schedule.
Yeah.
And so they need to plan around very specifically a busy schedule, or potentially people who have dietary needs,
For sure.
specific allergies, or whatever kind of dietary need that they might have, where they're only eating food that they cook themselves. They're not able to rely on food outside of the house. So
Yeah.
they do have to be super intentional about what's on their meal plan and make sure that they do actually have food for every meal that they want to eat during the week.
Yeah. The nice thing about this, the pro
Sure. Yeah.
to this is that there is no questioning or doubts about what you're eating.
Right.
There's no, should we stop somewhere for lunch? Do we have anything at home? There's no, oh no, what are we going to have for breakfast today? Because I didn't think about it. Like every bit of it is planned and shopped for.
Yeah.
Which is the most helpful.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of I'm going to call it security in this type of meal plan where, you have no doubt because just well, I made the plan. We got all the food. Now we just got to execute. Yeah. And usually these people are great at execution.
Mm-hmm. And I think for people who do this because of dietary needs, there is no other option, right?
Exactly.
Like there is no other option but to execute. Yeah. Particularly, I think about the people that we've talked to who do this for their children.
Right.
And it is life-saving for their children or their families or just their whole circumstances, their entire circumstances. What is the word?
I don't know.
Life circumstance.
Now that you said it 3 ways, I don't know what the right
sorry.
is.
Everyone who's listening, let's just move on. Sorry. The con to this one is there is no wiggle room, no flexibility, which I think you're right. This is not mine because I like some flexibility, but this is for people who, honestly, there are people who like this the most because there is no flexibility. There's no question marks, right?
Yeah.
There's just no wiggle room for anything to change here, which I think could be considered a con, but a pro for some people who like that.
Sometimes one person's pro is another person's con.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Okay. So next we have the minimalist planner. So this is somebody who plans minimally for the week. They like to have the flexibility and the opportunity to make different choices on the fly as their week changes, as the week develops. It's not a super set in stone meal plan.
And this one is probably this is also where you'd say you fall in, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I based this one off of us.
Yeah. This one is definitely, I think, a pretty common because, and honestly, it's the feedback that we try to give people is hey, don't do too much, especially if you're new to meal planning. Just just dip your toes in it. You and I both plan for 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week. and then just have other food on hand for other meals, which some people are going to feel very overwhelmed by because they're like, I've got ingredients, but what do I do
Right.
with them? I just got a little bit to work with. The thing I like about this the most often is like the flexibility and ability to make the choice on the fly, because I can move whatever we're having for dinner tomorrow night. I can move to tonight if that's what we need to do for time or preferences. And it does give a little space to say, oh, we're going to go out to eat this night. It's not, oh, we're not wasting food. We're not pushing it off to next week or things are going to go bad. I like this one a lot.
Yeah. I would say that the con of this one that you and I have both experienced is that not often, sometimes you can get caught not having a plan for the next meal potentially. And this is where you and I have talked about that idea of like you have backup meals, you have your recovery meals. So that way, if you do get caught where you're like, oh, I haven't made the next meal plan yet, it's totally fine. But I do think that's also like a practiced
For sure.
aspect of this, right? Like this, while I do think that this minimalist planning is really good for newer people to meal planning, there also is like a practice aspect of it where it's like you have to figure out what is the right amount of minimalism for you and your family without constantly getting caught without something to eat for, dinner tonight or tomorrow night or something.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I tend to have, like, my pantry is well stocked. Like, I'm never like worried that we're not going to have a meal, which is a blessing, right? Like, I'm not worried about that. And I do have those backup on hand, but I would agree with you. That's a little bit more like minimalist and minimalist plus.
Right.
Like, we plan minimally and we have minimally backup. We have minimal backup and we like know how to work the two together. We know how to restock it.
Yeah.
So that it's like ready for the next time without it being the exact same recovery meal,
Right.
It's kind of like minimalist plus.
Yeah.
The next one is the spontaneous planner, which is the planner that I think you and I struggle with the most with the dinner dilemmas is because we have a hard time telling somebody who wants to make a decision on the daily to make a decision for the week, because it was a really hard shift. But this person is like always wanting to meal plan on the fly. Like, they might be the person who goes to the grocery store every 2 days.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're going to have salmon tonight and we're going to have steaks tomorrow. And then we're going to have a vegetarian dinner on Thursday, maybe, if I feel like it.
Yeah.
They're going to decide what they eat around cravings or seasonal food or whatever strikes their fancy.
Right. I feel like we talked about this a really long time ago, or maybe I just only saw it on Instagram a really long time ago, but I feel like I remember seeing potentially, it's a very vague memory, okay, of a person who was like against meal planning, and they defined themselves as like a very creative individual, and so they wanted to be able to just like, even as the day unfolded, not like I'm going to wake up in the morning and decide what we're going to eat for dinner, but it was like at 4:00, I'm going to see like what feels good, what sounds good, like what colors are speaking to me. Like, it was a very like esoteric, I think, way of looking at dinner. And I just remember being like, I don't identify with this person at all.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You and I always say like everyone actually is a meal planner.
Yeah.
They just may not know it.
Yeah.
Because, we'll say like, if you're planning to get takeout tonight, that is your dinner plan. Like, that's your meal plan. I don't totally identify with that either, because I don't have the luxury of meal planning based on instinct or like desire, like momentary, like, it's not like, that's the nice thing about going to a restaurant, right? Is like, you've got this menu and you just get to have whatever whim you want to have to order. But doing that at home is so difficult.
Well, yeah,
and I don't live close to a.
You're not looking at a menu necessarily to decide what sounds good. And also, you don't necessarily have all the ingredients.
Right.
But when
as
you're
soon
doing
as I think something sounds good, I'd have to go to the store because I wouldn't have it.
Yeah. Like when you're doing it, whenever I'm doing that at my house, I'm like, we have macaroni and cheese and that's it.
This type of planner, though, probably does a really good job of leaning into what their needs are. Like,
oh, sure.
We talked a little bit about with the deep dives, like nutritional deficiencies. Like, if they're like really leaning into their cravings, then potentially if their cravings are leading them down with their body needs, then they're going to maybe do a good job of like, filling up what their body actually is craving and needing. And there's a way to do this as a also being a meal planner. We've
Yeah.
talked a lot about this is like you can put meals on the planner, just don't put too many, and then maybe plan around some ingredients that sound good, and then use those to be spontaneous within your week. You just kind of, it's like a spontaneity within confines,
Right. Well,
some
or
parameters.
yeah, or it's like that book that you reviewed that's like the no recipes
Yeah.
recipes. And that person's recommendation was basically just have a really well stocked
Yes.
pantry.
Yep.
And then you can make all of these different recipes just with like basic ingredients that could be found in your pantry and in your cupboards. So like there's that possibility too, where it's like, I think you would still be grocery shopping with intentionality, but that takes some skill in
It
cooking
does. Yeah, it
for
does.
sure.
Yeah, I would say that this spontaneous planner probably does need to have a pretty good skill level
I
in the
would think so.
kitchen.
Yeah.
I think the con here for this meal planning type is just the potential to maybe get overwhelmed by it. Though most people I know who are a little bit more seat of their pants, like spontaneity kind of people, they don't get as stressed out. So
Yeah.
I don't know that stress would be the problem here, but there could definitely be like overspending happening at the grocery store because you buy things and then don't use them, or you don't use them, you didn't buy enough, or you needed to buy more, extra
Yeah.
trips to the store, and then potentially wasted food. If you're
Right.
like, oh, on a whim, I do this all the time. If I see something in the store and I'm like, ooh, that sounds great. If I do not make it within 2 or 3 days, I will never make it.
Right.
And so my spontaneity can definitely end in wasted food.
Right. Yeah. Well, and when you're going to the grocery store every night to find the things that like sound
Mm-hmm.
good or look good, as we've talked about before, you never go and only spend $14.
No.
You go and spend 40. It's
Yeah.
just it's like the rule of the grocery store.
It is hard. It's hard to stay on track with your budget when you just start kind of like wandering.
Yeah.
Because I always get sucked in, especially in like the produce section. Like, oh, those strawberries are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a beautiful tomato like this. I hope it tastes as good as it looks, like that kind of thing,
Yeah.
especially in the produce section.
Yeah. All right. Our next personality type is the future planner, which is the type of person who gets their planning done well in advance. So we're talking like 1 month or more. They're doing like a bulk planning session, getting all of their meal planning done. I interviewed a longtime Plantee customer. Her name's Rebecca Zip. This is probably like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. It's a really great interview if you are a Plantee user and you like to do this bulk type of planning, because she like really goes into the plan to eat side of things in that interview. But the interesting part about her is that she does the future planning because she doesn't like to meal plan.
Oh,
And so for her, it's a way to like get it out of the way for the whole month.
yeah,
She's just like, look, I make my meal plan for the whole month. And then I really don't have to think about it again because I don't really enjoy meal planning. But she's
yeah.
like a great meal planner still.
This is, well, okay, hold on. A lot of people are bad at things, or well, a lot of people don't like things that they're very good at. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like this idea seasonally.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a great way to meal plan in the summer.
Right.
I think taking a meal plan, summertime feels like almost like constricting to have a meal plan because there is so much like fluidity to like, okay, well, are we going to do this? Are we going to go to somebody's house? Are we going to grill out? What's in season? I went to the farmer's market, like that kind of thing.
Right.
So I think just having a basic structure of a meal plan is the best way to go about this. Then that bulk of it is done. I'm thinking like, okay, we're going to grill out tonight. We're going to grill burgers. Great. Okay, I went to the farmer's market and I got some beautiful tomatoes. There were some great onions. I'm gonna grill this squash. Like you can add those supplemental pieces, but meal plan at the same time.
Yeah.
And I just think that using this in the summer is a great way to kind of like get the thing done that you need to do, but then that space of not having to plan allows you to like enjoy the time.
For sure. Well, I mean, and seasonally, it's also great to do around the holidays,
Oh,
right?
for
Like
sure.
as we talked about last year around the holidays, it can be really easy to plan for the holiday day and then forget that dinner happens every other night of the week.
Totally.
So if you did your future self a favor and just plan for like the whole month ahead, then you really wouldn't have to worry about the rest of the meal planning. And it's just, you could focus more of your energy, I guess, on like if you're hosting a Thanksgiving dinner or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in general, I think that this personality knows that planning is a favorite of their future self,
Yeah.
whether it's for the same reason as Rebecca, where she just doesn't like
Yeah.
planning, or if it's just that that it's something that you like to have checked off your to-do list for a long time. And again, this is a place where Planty is a huge lifesaver because you can just create an endless amount of meal plans.
Yeah. And reuse them. So you don't even have to create endless ones.
Right.
You can just create a couple and rotate through them. Yeah, that burden is lifted for the foreseeable future. Like, which is really nice. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Yep.
I don't do a good job of this. I don't do a good job of sitting down and planning for the long term, but when I do, I'm usually really grateful that I did.
I have started to implement it more. I think I mentioned a few
Yeah, you did.
episodes ago
Yeah.
that I made a monthly meal plan, and I've been using that, and so far it's been really successful. I mean,
Awesome.
there is I think the con of this style is that there is still like weekly planning that needs to happen. Like I still am reviewing my meal plan every week to make adjustments to things. And if you don't like to meal plan, that could definitely be a con for you. But overall, I feel like the benefit outweighs the con in this case
Yeah.
because like the heavy lifting's done.
Yeah. Just that little bit of weekly maintenance.
Yeah.
And then last up, we have our every few days planner. This is someone who is only meal planning once they're out of things to eat, which is great. That's great, right? It's a good way to do it. You're probably not wasting food this way, and you're just doing it based on like a need-based planning.
Mm-hmm.
My family doesn't really love that because then we run out of things to eat.
Right.
But if you and then then I'm like, okay, but then I have to figure out when I'm going to add the grocery trip into the weekly plan, and then the weekly maintenance gets a little bit more bulky.
Right.
I think this personality type probably doesn't identify too much as a planner. They probably just do it because they have to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like this was the type of planner that I was before I started using Planty was basically like I would go to the grocery store probably about every 3 days and would like be like, okay, so tonight we're gonna do this and tomorrow night we're gonna do that. And I feel like this personality type can like kind of blends with the spontaneous planner
Sure.
in some ways for that same reason. But the like being at the store all the time, I'm just gonna jump right to the con because I think that's like pretty obvious here, which is like if you're at the grocery store all the time, you're going to spend more money than you mean to, just like we mentioned earlier. And are you really out of food at your house? Like
Sure.
most people's pantries and cupboards and freezers have some amount of food. And it's just like we have that mental block sometimes of like you look in the cupboard and you're like, there's nothing to eat. I need to go to the grocery store.
Or it doesn't sound good.
Right. But as we've said, like I could go over to Riley's house and Riley could be like, I don't have anything to eat. And I look in her cabinet and I'm like, you got 17 different meals here. Let me tell you all.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to look at somebody else's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pro here, I would say, is that they, similar to spontaneous, they're eating what sounds good, fresh, seasonal ingredients. Like they're going and buying immediately what they need and then using it right then.
Yeah.
I would say I don't like planning every few days, but there have been a few seasons of my life where I'm like, it's all I can really think about. It's like, okay, you know what? This is what we know. That's what we know we need. Let's just do that, and I'll think about it when I have time to think about it.
Right.
But I don't love when I get into that routine because then I kind of stay in that routine longer than I want to because I can't seem to get ahead of it. If I just sat down and just did the planning, then I'd be able to get ahead of this. But I don't like to go to the store multiple times a week. I really try to avoid that.
Me neither. Yeah, there have been times where I just have been sort of, I'm going to call it like absentee to my meal plan, where it just like, where I become this kind of every few day planner because I'm just not like super invested in the meal plan. So it's like I get in Planty and I'll just put 2 recipes on the meal planner and then be like, cool, I'll go to the grocery store tomorrow. And then like 2 days later, I'm looking at my meal plan being like, why didn't I just plan more? I already was at the grocery store, didn't do my future self a favor in that regard.
And like the thing about it to me is like, it really wouldn't have been that much more work.
No, that's exactly what I think in the moment is I'm like, I was already at the grocery store. I was already doing the thing. I mean, I would have been at the grocery store 10 minutes longer to get some extra stuff maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. Even if you just double it so you can eat it for 2 meals, get you a little longer.
That's
Then
so
it's no
true.
extra time at the store, but
That's so true.
yeah. But I also am trying to like give myself the benefit of the doubt in those seasons. It's like when I've had to do it, I was pretty desperate.
Yeah.
Okay, just get us a meal for tonight. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like that's a season of my, like if my brain can't also do that, I've got a lot on my mind.
Yeah. Well, I think we could have come up. I mean, we didn't want to make an endless list of meal planning personality types. I think we could have come up with like the takeout meal planner, like a leftover personality type. Like they do that idea where they just double everything. The batch cooking, you could also say that's like a batch cooking meal planning type. We could have said lots of things. If you think you're a different meal planning type than what we have said here, we would love to hear about it. Email us at podcast@planteat.com. Tell us how you meal plan and what you think you should name that personality type.
Yeah, I like that. We'll definitely read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did say that a lot of these are combination.
Oh, yeah.
I think combination is pretty accurate. Like everybody's kind of a combination, just based on life. Life happens.
Yeah. All right, Riley. You want to talk about what's on your meal plan before we head out today?
Yeah, my meal plan is brought to you by 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. Yeah, it's one of those weeks where I was, really struggling with ideas. And yeah, so we had hot dogs that we roasted over the fire, which was really fun. My 3-year-old was like, this was my idea.
Oh,
it was your idea.
That's
sweet.
She
was so proud of it. So that was fun. And then we're going to have burritos and hamburgers and then like a sweet potato and Brussels sprout, like chicken, like a sheet pan meal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty basic this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I just needed some help with some suggestions. So hot dogs, hamburgers, and burritos. Those are my children's suggestions. Supplemented with fruit and veggies.
Yeah.
I like those meals too. They almost always want to eat hamburgers. My kids would eat hamburgers every single night of the week. And that is not my preference. So
yeah.
What about you?
Let's see, last night we had a 1-pan sausage and couscous dish, like a skillet dish, and it was supposed to be flavored with harissa, but I couldn't find any harissa paste at the grocery store. So I think I need to go to a specialty grocery store to really get some. So I kind of I wanged it on the on the seasoning side of things. But let me tell you what, this was one of those recipes where it's a 1 skillet meal, it's a 1-pan meal, and usually when a 1-pan meal calls to cook the grain in the 1 pan, I avoid it because I'm like, if you're supposed to cook rice in the pan with all of the other things, I feel like it takes 10,000 years to cook.
Tons of extra liquid.
Or if it's like you cook the noodles in the thing and then it's like, why is there so much liquid? The noodles don't absorb as much liquid. I don't know. But couscous, I feel like, is the exception because it cooks so quickly. Or maybe just whoever wrote this recipe did a great job. And it was like the amount of liquid was great for the amount of couscous. And it only takes like 10 minutes for couscous to cook. So
nice.
That was great. And then we're having that gochujang chicken tonight with rice and some roasted vegetables. We're going to have an Italian grinder salad, ground beef stir fry, and then Thai peanut chicken bowls, courtesy of Riley's suggestion.
Hope you love them.
All right. Well, that wraps us up for this week. We appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks.